Okay, welcome back to section 3-3, linear functions. This is part 2. Today we're going to talk about graphing these linear functions. There's a couple different methods, so we're going to go over those and get started right now. So here we want to graph the y equals 1/2 x minus 3. So the best method to go about this is just to create a t-box, or t-chart. So we have our x and we have our y. So we're just going to start with the very easy one, 0. And if we plug in 0 for x and we solve, we get 1/2 times 0 minus 3. And that just gives us -3. And then to make things easier, since I'm multiplying by 1/2, I'm going to go by 2's. So 2 times 1/2 is 1. 1 minus 3 is -2. And I'm going to get 3 points to ensure that I create a straight line. So then I'm going to multiply, put 4 in for x. So I get 1/2 times 4, which is 2, minus 3 gives us -1. So now that we have 3 points, let's graph. 0, -3, 2, -2, and then 4, -1. And so that looks like a pretty straight line. So there we go. All right. And there we have our y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Next one, 3x plus y is equal to -1. Well, in this case, we're in standard form, but I'm not really a fan of how it's set up. So I'm going to move that 3x to the other side. So then I have y equals -3x minus 1. Now it's a little bit easier to make that t-chart. All right, a little further. So again, I'm just going to start at 0. Plug in 0, you get -1. And then let's go to -1, and we end up getting -3 times -1, which is 3 minus 1, so we get 2. And then I'm going to put in 1, so I get -3 times 1, which is -3, minus 1, and we get -4. So I got 3 points. I'm going to graph now. 0, -1. -1, 2, and then 1, -4. So that looks like a pretty straight line, or the best I can graph. And so we have our line of 3x plus y equals -1. Let's do another one. Here we have y equals -2. So when we create this teacher, I'm going to change colors just to mix things up a little bit. So we got to remember, it's telling us what y equals no matter what. So if we put in 0 for x, y is -2. It tells us y equals -2. We put in 1, y is -2. We put in 7, we get -2. It doesn't, whoops, I said 7 and I wrote 7. So no matter what, we get a -2. So we go to 0, we get -2. We go to 1, we get -2. We go to 7, we get -2. So we create this line, remember 3 points, so we just get a completely horizontal line. So when y is by itself and there's no x value, you just get a horizontal line at what it says y is equal to. All right, last one. This one, it says graph 3x plus 2y equals 9 using the x and y intercept. So remember, x-intercept says the y is equal to 0, and the y-intercept says the x is equal to 0. So we're going to plug those values in. So for the x-intercept, I'm going to put 0 in for y. So I get 3x plus 2 times 0 is equal to 9. Well, then we just get 3x equals 9. Solve for x, divide by 3. So x is equal to 3. So that's the x-intercept. So I go to 3, 0. And then we're going to do the same thing for y. we're going to take 3 times 0 plus 2 times y equals 9. So then we just get 2y equals 9 divided by 2. So y is equal to 4 1/2. So now that I got my y-intercept, I can go to 4 1/2 on the y-axis, right about there. And now I can use those 2 points to draw my line. And that's what we call the intercept method, plugging in 0 and canceling out one of the variables. So that's graphing linear equations.